After taking a dump on the Call of Duty series for a while, I thought it was time to go back and see how the series all started, especially because I never got to play the first till many years later, but when I played it, it was one of the most frustrating experiences of my life. It was rough, almost as rough as the first Medal of Honor game. Hell, even Battlefield 1942 controls better for a first in the series. So, after getting stuck during the British campaign with the truck escape mission, I just rage quit. Then years later, we're now reviewing the game. I finished the campaign and made a playthrough, so go check that out if you want to see the full game. Now it's time to finally cover Call of Duty 1.
Carry on. Good luck.
Oh man, this is nuts. I can't believe we're doing this.
Believe it!
Obviously, given the success of Medal of Honor and Battlefield 1942, Activision had to jump into the World War II craze of the 2000s. Yeah, today it's Battle Royale and live services, but 20-so-odd years ago it was World War II shooters, before moving on to modern, futuristic, and then kind of stagnating, as everyone wanted zombies and survival games. Best way to summarize 2000 to 2024 gaming crazes in a nutshell. So yeah, COD 1 is a World War II shooter. You play as an American airborne named Martin, a British airborne named Evans, and finally, Alexei, a member of the Red Army. 3 campaigns, 26 missions, one most important war in human history that is World War II that forever changed humanity to this very day, as we still experience many problems caused by and from the last World War. Just get ready, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. You may be the next generations to see a world war if people don't stop electing the wrong people.
Based.
Given the game came out in the year 2003, yes, Call of Duty is 21 years old. I know, it's crazy to think. But anyways, because of the time period it came out in, the controls are very different than what we're used to today, especially in the overall smoothness. What we use today was thanks to modern warfare, and not the shit boot, but the original. The shit boot sucks and people are starting to wake up to it, thank God. Back to the first game. It's very clunky. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The game is just awful when it comes to its overall controls and shooting mechanics. And before you bring up, but it's 21 years old, Battlefield 1942 came out a year prior, has better controls, and it's not that much older. In fact, it understood the basics of first-person shooters. You use WASD to move, mouse to control the camera, left mouse button to shoot, right mouse button for iron sights, R to reload, numbers for equipment, space to jump and stand up, shift to melee, a control to go prone, C to crouch, and F to use things. It's okay, but it feels rather clunky and tankish at times. It took a while to get used to, till about the Russian campaign. That's how long it took me to somewhat get used to it. Somewhat. The AI can be a bit stupid at times, especially your allied AI just standing there getting in the way. It's very annoying. But the enemy AI can also do the same. But at times they can also be extremely aggressive and charge you and constantly smack you with the melee attack, making it hard for you to attack them. It's like a mixed bag of challenge and boredom. In fact, I wanted to quit around the time of the British campaign. What can I say? I just don't like the British. Might be my Scottish ancestry, but hey, you did give us the good series of Top Gear, so I'll give you guys a pass for now.
I don't like where this is going.
You basically just run through corridor level design, fighting endless waves of Germans, with many spawning out of nowhere and killing you in mere seconds. Obviously, given its time, the game features no regenerating health. That wasn't until the second game. And you know what? I prefer it over the stupid health kits of old. Because of this, the later games are more fair. Unless you play on Veteran in World at War, for example. Only fellow boomers like me will remember the grenade PTSD of COD WA days. The campaign starts off with the Americans. You drop down into mainland Europe during D-Day and fight through the French countryside, taking on rabid Germans, taking out anti-air turrets, and facing tanks. Good lord, are the German tanks not to be messed with. You'll face them quite often throughout the campaigns, but here, when they're introduced, it's more memorable, intimidating, and challenging. Trying to dodge the machine gun fire and turret blasts while running through the ruined streets of France, finding those Panzerfausts. But the low point is easily the very first on-rails section, especially cause you have barely any ammo to take on everything being thrown at you. The Germans are blasting you from across the streets in the woods, they're getting the freaking tanks and trucks and jeeps after you too. I hate this portion. You don't have any supplies. One false move, game over. Start all over again.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
As for the weapons, Americans got some of the best, but the Russians still have the best overall. The Thompson and M1 Garand is a good combo to use, but I'd rather have the PPSH and Mazda Nagat. But of course, a highlight to this campaign is easily Captain Foley, who is voiced by Steve Blum.
Gentlemen, we fought a whole bunch of these, so I know you know what to do, but indulge me. Move quickly, cover your buddies, don't bunch up. And for heaven's sake, don't stop till we reach those bunkers.
You can't have a game with war and soldiers without Steve Blum back in the 2000s. He was in pretty much everything. Quake, Doom, you name it. Another highlight to the American campaign is when you're breaking into the mansion trying to find Captain Price, who's a prisoner down in the basement of the mansion. And you have to go through secret tunnels and stuff and collect enemy intel. It's just a very close quarters, chaotic experience. But part of the problem with this part is, turns out that the other British soldier that you're supposed to rescue isn't here. He's at a concentration camp. Oh boy, goody gumdrops. We get to break into a German camp and rescue a prisoner with a frickin' timer. A timer. Of course. That is the worst part about that mission, is the frickin' timer. On lower difficulties, it's not that hard to deal with, but higher ones, it's a pain in the ass. But sadly, the campaign comes to a crawl of sheer torment. It's time for the British campaign. Oh god, do I fucking hate the British.
Relax.
Says the Italian.
Stop!
Whatever. Let's move on why I hate this campaign. First of all, the missions are very basic and boring in comparison to the opening of the game. It caught your attention to only bore you to death with the slog partway through. Not to mention the weapons sure do suck. Why did the British use the worst weapons in the war? No wonder why the US had to come in and save their asses to invade mainland Europe. They couldn't shoot shit with these guns. The Bren is the worst offender in this game, as its iron sights literally block the screen. The iron sights don't work at all. You can't see shit. with the Bren. This weapon is the worst, especially during the bridge mission. Why do I have to use a weapon with obstructed view that's an automatic machine gun in a mission where you must take down a large group of soldiers who have a bunker full of LMGs that like to go brrrr?
I'm sorry. What the f?
But then there's the truck mission. Oh god, these on-rail sections are the worst. One false move and it's game over. Start all over again. This is where I originally stopped playing Call of Duty in the first place several years ago. But things continue to get worse as you have to then go with the truck again through another truck on rails mission. Then you hop out of the truck and have to get into an anti-air gun, shoot up German soldiers who are attacking you from all directions while taking out frickin' bomber planes that are dive bombing you from the sky. Good God, does it suck. But then things get even worse as you have to infiltrate one of Germany's battleships. Afterwards, you fight through the whole thing, setting up explosives and collecting intel all on your own, facing non-stop hordes of Germans with hardly any first aid. I barely made it through this one. Oh, and Captain Price dies here. Yeah, I didn't notice because he originally got stuck on this level and I had to push him down the bowels of the ship just to trigger the script to move the mission forward. Like what? It's just a low point of this game for sure. I cannot say anything positive about the British campaign. It's just here to be here because it's World War II. You gotta have the British, you gotta have the Americans, you gotta have the Russians, you gotta have the Germans, you gotta have the Japanese, you name it.
We lost the captain. Damn, he was a very fine man. Let's get the hell out of here.
The Russian campaign is the best of the three, obviously. The production value is far greater. There's more action, explosions, and a bunch of pissed off Russians charging into the Germans with no fear. Bodies piling up, gunfire in all directions, bodies flying in the air from freaking bombs, getting hit by all the shells. Russian flags flying high in the air as everyone screams for Mother Russia to avenge everything from Stalingrad. There is nothing but pure joy in this entire campaign. In fact, let's just summarize it with a montage.
Yes. Boy, I'm a little hard right now, I ain't gonna lie.
There's nothing else to the game, but of course you can also play online if you can ever find a server, let alone anyone to play with. It's just your standard multiplayer experience and that's it. That's Call of Duty 1, a simple game that became a juggernaut. That's not going to stop anytime soon, especially with Xbox now in control of the IP. At the end of the day, Call of Duty is quite decent for a 21-year-old game and series. I still can't believe the COD franchise has been going on for this long, and that I was only 9 when the series became a thing. Now I'm almost 30, and wondering, where the hell did the time go? But still, for the first entry, it's an average game worth checking out. Despite some hiccups, especially with the stupid on-rails sections, it was fun finally finishing the game after all these years of owning it and never getting past the British truck mission. I'd still recommend Call of Duty 2 overall if you wanted a classic era Call of Duty game to play. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
Don't let up, comrades!